Okay. Okay. Welcome everybody to my new interview with our friend from Italy, Adriano del Monte. Adriano del Monte, how are you?
I'm very well. Thank you for having me. I'm in Milano. Beautiful day here. All is fine. Thank you.
That's great to hear. Now, of course, we have to talk about this sense of miracle that Real Madrid has this season, because this season has been I don't know, they pray a lot or they have magic, because in my life I have never seen something like the last game against Manchester City.
I can say I have been very lucky to cover Real Madrid in the Champions League many times this season. I saw them up close in the group stage against Inter Milan here in Milano and in Madrid. And this year I have seen all three matches at the Bernabeu against Paris Saint-Germain, Chelsea, and of course Manchester City. And every time has been more incredible. And I don't think there is any way to properly explain how it is possible, because I think you are right in saying the run that Real have been on, the miracles that they have pulled off. There is no way to analyze this in terms of football, because against Paris Saint-Germain, it was over. A Karim Benzema hat-trick, they come back. But especially the last one against Manchester City, the game is done, 2 goals in stoppage time to Rodrigo, and it's here we are now, and Real Madrid going to another Champions League final. It is a special season. The question now, can they finish it off in Paris against Liverpool, who I think, for me, is the strongest team on paper in football at the moment, with Klopp, what they have been able to do as well, an incredible team. But you just feel something special about Real Madrid this season, that they're going to finish it off.
Yeah, and another amazing thing, if we of course analyze it, is that everyone believed that Real Madrid was going to have years on years to get back to the finals, because Ronaldo and all this, and they're back just a few years later.
It's an amazing story. I think also very similar for Spain and La Liga in general this season. There was a lot of people who were saying, also Barcelona, Real Madrid, Atletico Madrid, these clubs are not at their strongest. La Liga is not at its strongest, but they have proven that is not the case. And Real Madrid obviously leading the way with winning La Liga and now in another Champions League final. It is incredible, the development of the young players. It is incredible what Carlo Ancelotti has been able to do this season, how highly the players speak of him. Because let's not forget, Ancelotti was brought in to be just someone who knew the club, just to help them go to that next level and maybe help the transition, but not to win the league, win maybe the Champions League. It is incredible from top to bottom what has happened at Real Madrid this season. And if they are to win the Champions League final, it could be as remarkable a story as we have seen in football history, perhaps.
Yeah, it's funny because they said black cats are for bad luck, but Karim Benzema is a cat for good luck.
Absolutely. He's been, to watch Karim Benzema in these matches, he will win the Ballon d'Or this season. For me, it doesn't matter which way the final goes, even if Liverpool win. Karim Benzema has been the best player in the world this season, and he has brought all of the good luck. He has brought all of the good quality, all of the good fortune, and he deserves it, because for so long, a player who played his part at Real Madrid, but lived in the shadow of Cristiano Ronaldo. And it has been proven now that he was at the level, he was as important. Obviously, Ronaldo, his goals and everything he was able to achieve, he was the leader. but Karim Benzema is in the same level of quality of Ronaldo, what he has been able to do, and will go down in the history of the club as one of the greatest ever.
And of course, this like transition of generation of generational change, because now we see Vinicius, we see Rodrigo, we see all these new faces combined with some old faces like Luka Modric, and of course we are seeing how the veterans are left has no how the veterans have been like giving the support of their knowledge, but they're like moving out. Firstly was Ronaldo, then Sergio Ramos, of course Marcelo. I mean, I believe that this is his last season at Madrid, because yeah, it's like he's old now for the moment.
Yeah.
And but of course that's like everyone is saying, that's the difference between the transition of Real Madrid and Barcelona. Real Madrid has this great transition of this wonderful team that we won three consecutive Champions League and make all this history. But Barcelona, like they did the contrary, like they get worse, and of course the management of the team, and that's really fascinating to watch Real Madrid, that they didn't like take a lot of time to recover from the Ronaldo effect.
Of course, and that's another amazing story in itself, that I think Real Madrid find themselves in a nice position. You are right. The difference between Barcelona and Real Madrid here is that Real still have the winners, they still have the legends from that era, and the experience, the knowledge, the lessons that they can help provide these next players to come through will only help them. And at this point in time, Barcelona don't really have that. There are some who perhaps will like to create the debate of which youngsters are better, Barcelona's youngsters, Real Madrid's youngsters. But I think that the lessons that the youngsters of Real Madrid today are able to learn at this time from Modric, Cruz, Casemiro, Marcelo also, and these players, it will be invaluable. Obviously, Benzema as well. It will be invaluable for their future. And I think we can only judge this down the road to see how far they develop once all of these older players do move on. But it's a special time for these youngsters of Real Madrid, no doubt about it.
Yeah. Now the next we're going from La Liga to Serie A, from the Italian one, right? I was just thinking about Bayern, right? They have a monopoly in the Bundesliga, because they have like 10 years winning the league. It's like
Correct.
like absurd, right? Now I remember that Juventus had something like that, a monopoly in the league, but of course we have seen something similar to Juventus. I'm not going to say like the level of Barcelona of fall, but yeah, something similar, because they're like in fourth, right? Fourth place.
Juventus, yes.
It's Milan, then Inter, right? Napoli,
Correct.
and then it's Juventus, right?
Correct.
The amazing thing is like talking about process and falls and rises. Milan has a similar like syndrome like Manchester United these last years, because they passed from winning Champions League in the 2000s to right now like not winning and like not the same magic, right?
No.
But finally, it seems like Milan is going to win a league, right? It seems, because we don't know yet. But of course, like we saw Manchester United, I believe their last league, it was in 2013, something like that. I mean, and of course, a club with that prestige cannot wait so many years to win something, right?
Mhm.
Of course, I believe some years ago they win the Europa League, right?
Mhm.
But like from the for the United, like the Europa League, it's like good, but now they should win the Champions League, right?
Absolutely. I think you make an interesting point. These two clubs, Milan and Manchester United, have been in very similar positions over the last 10 years. No success, no silverware, and giants of world football who have not taken a couple of steps back to go forward. Milan and Manchester United more so with more money to spend. They have invested and invested and invested, but in the wrong areas. And they have continually done this. And Manchester United now, okay, Cristiano Ronaldo, a legend of football, no doubt about it. But Cristiano Ronaldo was not the player for this Manchester United to sign. Yes, he has scored goals as he did at Juventus, but this is not the sort of sale, the sort of purchase you make to bring a young team back to the top in 5 years from now, because Cristiano Ronaldo, in my opinion, will not be at Manchester United next season, let alone in 5 seasons from now. With Milan in Italy, it has been the same. Juventus have dominated. Juventus won 9 straight Italian titles. And Milan, in that time, bought more players than any other club in Italy. And not that they were big money players, but they were trying to find the right player. So they spent 20 million here, 30 million here, 40 million here. And in the end, none of these players worked out, to the point where even just to qualify for the Champions League was becoming a tough test for Milan, Italy's most successful club in the Champions League history, the second most successful ever after Real Madrid. This is not where Milan should be. However, they are finally starting to find some balance, and it has resulted in this season some patience being shown in their manager, Stefano Pioli, who is not a world-class manager, but has really brought out the best in a young squad. And as a result, Milan are now, as we speak today, not too far away from winning a first title in 11 years, which has been a very long time coming. If Milan can do that, they get themselves back into the Champions League, they get themselves seeded, and all of a sudden they become a club which, again, because of their history, is very appealing to join. So if there is a young player coming through and they see that Milan is interested, Milan playing Champions League is a lot more appealing than Milan not playing Champions League football. And I think now we will start to see Milan back amongst the very best clubs in Europe. Do they win a Champions League next season? No, they're not ready yet. But slowly, one step at a time, they will get back there soon.
And of course, uh, a real like interesting story about Milan. It's how Zlatan returned, right?
Of course.
And
Incredible.
even older than Cristiano, which it's fascinating because when a player goes to the MLS, it's like for retiring,
Of course.
and he returned to Europe and to a team like Milan.
It's unbelievable. Zlatan is a different level of competitors. Zlatan has a mind which you do not see in too many people. Now, maybe Ronaldo would do the same, but I don't think Cristiano would have gone to the MLS so early. Zlatan going there at that time was also a surprise for me, but let's remember he came off a difficult period at Manchester United. He had a serious injury, so perhaps that was why. But in the end, Zlatan, look, I've interviewed him a number of times this year as we get closer to the Scudetto. Obviously, he hasn't played too much. He's had a few injuries. He isn't getting any younger at 40. But if he can lead this team to a Scudetto, to a championship, it will be a phenomenal achievement because he has had such an impact in the dressing room of this young Milan team that he has played his role. Even though he hasn't scored as many goals or played as many minutes, he's still been very important to this Milan team. So I think he will retire if Milan do win the championship, because the perfect way for he to go out is on top.
Of course, history will remember him like a great. Of course, there's like things like he never won a Champions League or our European trophy, but his legacy is far from that. Just because we look of his mentality, right?
Mm-hmm.
He has a very strong. He once said in an interview that he has a bulletproof mentality, and yeah, it's true.
It's true. He is one of the great competitors, one of the great personalities of sport in history, any sport, and he has had so much success. So the fact that we're saying maybe he's not the all-time great because he didn't win the Ballon d'Or, or he didn't win a Champions League, or he had no success at all with Sweden, the national team, but that's because he is at that level. He is in that conversation for one of the greatest ever players. The longevity, how long he has sustained his level at the top, it is remarkable. And he has been a winner everywhere he has gone. And that's why I say, if he can lead this young Milan team to glory, it is one of his finest ever achievements.
Of course, he was close to winning a Champions League with Barcelona, but he
Very
left.
close. Very close. And also Inter, the timing didn't work out for him well. He missed, he was very close. But again, he was at the quality as a player to be playing with these squads. He was a quality of the player to be winning domestic titles with these squads against very, very good opponents. He's done it all everywhere he's gone. And I've always been a very big supporter and very big fan of his work, because he's made, in most occasions, he's made everyone else around him a better player, a better person.
And of course, different from other players, because if I'm not wrong, he practiced martial arts, right?
Yes.
And you can see even in
He can
his
do it
game.
all.
Yeah. You can see in his game like he puts aspects of the martial arts into soccer, into football, right?
Absolutely. He's a master of many, many trades, and he's phenomenal for such a big player as well, to be so athletic, to impact the game in the way that he does, to score some of the goals the way that he does. It's, again, another thing that very difficult to explain, because he defies all logic at times with what he's been able to do in his career.
Yeah, amazing, right? Now, the World Cup. Do you believe that, of course, the World Cup is the World Cup. You cannot change anything. The hype of everyone, the like the mood of the people when the World Cup it's in the moment, it's like amazing, right?
Yes.
Of course, it's in Qatar, in a country that it's not like a football country, but of course it's also good because like the World Cup in South Africa and the one in Korea and Japan, to see like the other parts of the world, right? To see different cultures, see like different perspective, right? Of football, of everything. Now, if we see the favorites, for me, my favorite to win, it's there are five. Argentina, France, but with France, it's like we have to see, right?
Depends which France, exactly.
Yeah, because there's even a course, right?
Yeah, that's right.
Sí, um, Argentina, France,
Brazil.
yeah, I like England, but like they need like something more, right?
For me, no. For me, not England, no.
No, for me, I like England, but like I believe they have a better team 4 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
Brazil, it's like it depends for me on how good Neymar is have
Mm-hmm.
it's in the World Cup,
Absolutely.
right? Because yeah, they have and we can say like a new team because they have a lot of youngsters, right? But it's funny because it depends in Neymar, right? On how he plays. And I will say for me, my fifth favorite is I believe in which good for the fifth. Mm, I will say mm, it's because it's interesting, right?
Spain, Belgium.
I like Spain, but I have a problem. I don't like Luis Enrique
Yeah,
because
okay.
uh, first of all, like then 90% of the team is Barcelona,
Mm.
and
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
like, come on, man.
Mm-hmm.
I will say Belgium because
Interesting.
Belgium has a nice team and they have a momentum from the Russia World Cup because they have like their gold generation right now, right? Like De
The
Bruyne,
last chance. Mm-hmm.
yeah, their last chance. But the World Cup is of surprises. We
Mm.
don't we say something and then something happens.
Yeah.
Almost in every World Cup, there's a surprise. Like in the last one, Russia was a surprise.
Mm-hmm.
Even yeah, because there's something like always the country who has the World Cup has like yeah more support and everything. It's funny because Qatar has like not a great team, but not a bad team because Qatar has made a trick, right? Because they have bought players from other countries, but they give them the Qatari, uh, like how do you say it, the
Citizenship.
citizenship, right? So you can say like, yeah, Qatar is weak, but they don't have a bad team.
Mm. Yeah.
It's like interesting.
That'll be interesting.
Yeah.
Qatar, I can tell you, I lived in Qatar working with BN Sports for a couple of years, and Doha specifically, a fascinating place, an incredible place, a very different place in the world. So, from a cultural perspective, the World Cup will be a great experience for those to really experience a new culture. I think the fascinating thing about this World Cup will be that all the stadiums, all 8 stadiums, are within 40 minutes drive of each other. This is incredible. When I was in Brazil, I had to fly 6 hours to go to one stadium. In South Africa, the same, 3-4 hours on the plane. And obviously, Russia again, also a big country, but it's very unique that the Qatar as a nation is so small. It will be very interesting to see how that plays out. And I think that it will provide a lot of uniqueness about it, which will make it very attractive and very different. Even what's to come, obviously, USA, Mexico, and Canada in 26 will be very traditional again in terms of widespread. So I'm certainly looking forward to covering it from the color and the I suppose just how busy it will be. It will be very different to what I've seen in the past. For me on the pitch, I think Qatar is an interesting story. Yes, again, obviously they have neutralized. They've taken some players from abroad. They've spent enough time in Qatar. Then they've got their citizenship that they can play. They are a very talented team. I've seen a lot of them in Asian qualifying over the last few cycles, and they do have some very talented players. Obviously, in Group A, it will be difficult. Netherlands, Senegal, Ecuador. It will be a very tough group, but I think every group in the World Cup is tough. There is a lot of quality on the international scene, and that's why it's tough to predict who will win the World Cup. But you say 5. For me, I have 4 nations that can win the World Cup. I think there can be a few surprises, like we saw with Croatia and a few in 2018, a few nations that maybe go deep. But for me, only 4 nations can win the World Cup in Qatar, and we're a little similar. I think Brazil certainly have their chance. I think Neymar has a massive part to play, but I think Brazil will have a big opportunity of winning this World Cup, no doubt about
And
that.
the last opportunity of Neymar, of course.
Correct. I think there's a lot riding on this, and I think this Brazil team, the last opportunity for a few of their older players as well, this is a big chance for a Brazil team who are very good in qualification. I think staying in South America, I think Lionel Messi and Argentina have a big chance as well. And actually, Argentina are my tip to win the World Cup. I think that Lionel Messi has had a very strange season at Paris Saint-Germain. And when I see what has happened, the only thing I think of is that for him, his days in his club career are numbered. His focus is on Argentina. They won the Copa America. I think that Messi and Argentina can win the World Cup, and it will be a phenomenal story if he does. The other 2 that I think a definite chance, obviously France. I think France by far the strongest squad on paper, but France have had many issues internally over the journey in World Cups. They're never a certainty. And the fact they won in 2018, can they go back to back? I don't think so, but they have to be one of the favorites. The other one for me is Spain. I know you mentioned Luis Enrique and question a few things about him, but this is a very talented young Spanish team. They were very unlucky not to win the European Championships. Obviously, I was very happy Italy won the Euros, but Spain very easily could have beaten Italy in the semi-finals. We beat them on penalties, but Spain very talented, and 18 months on from that Euro experience, I think they'll be very strong under Luis Enrique and very tough to beat. So for me, Spain, Brazil, and France, but Argentina, my favorite to win the World Cup.
Yeah, because of course, talking about last chances is the last chance for Messi,
Of
and
course.
he has like this motivation, this hunger to win it, because it's like the last thing that he has to win.
Of course. And I think if he does win, I think obviously one of the big debates is Messi, Ronaldo. This is something they think about these players. If he can do something that Cristiano hasn't done, they've both won now the Euro, the Copa America. I think there's a lot to gain from him, but also Cristiano as well. Cristiano in Portugal, you would imagine it will be Cristiano's last World Cup. If not, he definitely will not be at the same level in 4 years' time in America, Mexico, and Canada. So really, for these 2 legends, their last opportunity at a World Cup, I just feel that Argentina are playing some very high-level football. They too, like Brazil, very strong in qualification. And we know South American qualification, it's difficult. There are some difficult trips away from home. And Argentina, they have not been beaten in so long. I just think they're going to be very difficult in Qatar. And with Messi, the motivation, I see them as the team to beat.
Talking about the South American qualification, Chile again.
Yeah. Well, Chile, a big nation to miss out. And again, Italy, my country here, miss out as well. It's not so good. But Chile, to not be at the World Cup, I can tell you from World Cups I've covered where Chile have been there, 2010, 2014, their fans are amongst the very best fans to attend the World Cup. So we will certainly we'll miss them there. Always a great team to watch, so well supported, and a big shame, no Chile. And of course, the last opportunity for legends from that country like Vidal, Sanchez to go to a World Cup, which doesn't matter where you're from in the world. No one wants to see the top players miss out on a World Cup.
And of course, we should never underestimate the African teams because there are some good African teams, right?
Absolutely. A lot of quality. Well, I think with Africa, you just need to look at the nations that didn't qualify to understand how good they are. Africa, for me, is the toughest of all qualifications in the world. And there are some very, very good nations who will not be going there. We know that Senegal and Egypt met in the African Cup of Nations final, and then 50 days later in a World Cup playoff. And obviously, well, unfortunately for Egypt, Senegal winning both. So Egypt, no World Cup, no trophy in the African Cup of Nations. And when you are having nations of this quality with players of the quality of Salah not going to a World Cup, it's a great shame, but this is the way it is. And we know that in 26 it will be expanded. So we will see more nations going to the World Cup.
Of course, Nigeria, it's not in the World Cup. Like a classic one, right?
A classic nation. It's again, it's a great shame. And with the expansion of the World Cup, it is good to see some more positions allocated to Africa because, yes, here in Europe, we do have a lot of quality that do miss out. But when you look at the percentages of how many countries there are in Europe and how many positions there are, I think it is quite fair. But for Africa, historic nations like Nigeria, like Egypt, big nations, big players, big populations, big attendances. It's a great shame, but these are the rules at the moment and not everyone can go. But to those that have qualified from Africa, a wonderful achievement given how difficult it was.
Now, of course, in the World Cup, we have like these aspects, like the ball, the song, the mascot.
Mm-hmm.
For me, the best music, the one of South Africa.
Also for me. Also for me.
For me, the best ball has been Brazuca, the one of Brazil.
Uh-huh.
And the best mascot has been, for me, I will say, the one of South Africa. The ball that is called Al Rahil or something like that. It's I like it, but for me the Brazuca was like other thing, right? The mascot, it's like okay, but they could be something like more like fascinating. And the song, I think in this World Cup they're going to have multiple songs, but the ones from South Africa, they were amazing.
Yeah, I'm with you. I agree with everything. The songs in South Africa I really enjoyed. It was the first World Cup that I covered, and to be there and to really immerse myself in that was very special. From an Italy perspective, the ball and mascot from 1990 World Cup in Italy, even though we didn't win that World Cup, very iconic. The songs from the 2006 World Cup as well, obviously where Italy won, also very special memories. But yeah, I'm with you. I agree for this time around. But look, they do the best they can. And I think after the World Cup, when they become synonymous with the World Cup and we have our memories from the World Cup, I think we'll look back and remember the song, the mascot and the ball a lot better for it.
Yeah, the nostalgia is very powerful.
Of course.
Talking about nostalgia, we're going to have a rematch from South Africa between Uruguay and Ghana with that
very big
controversial hand of Luis Suarez. It's funny
and
because
he's still playing Luis Suarez. It's amazing, isn't it?
Yeah. But it's funny because the other day I found a video that says why Africa hates Luis Suarez. But yeah.
Well, it's incredible they've been drawn in the group together. I think it will be one of many fascinating matches to watch. And that group, very difficult, very, very tough group. So, again, one of many matches to look forward to.
Yeah. Also, we have to, after the pandemic and all this madness, people want to get up their world, their stress, their everything, and of course it's a celebration. It's a way of letting off all their emotions, right?
Of course.
Thank you so much for your time.
No, my pleasure.
I have a great time with you, and I'm really, really grateful for you taking your time.
My pleasure. You keep up the great work and we'll chat again soon.
Thank you so much. Have a great day.
Thank you.